Hey, ARESxGOD here, and it's time to talk about Frieren. And this episode, Fern was just straight up cold with that scene. I can't wait for next week. Like, she was so casual about it. We're gonna get to it. But in this episode, just boss music was an understatement with Denken and everybody versus the clones, and having to defeat the raid boss that is Frieren the clone. But anyway, let's get into this episode and see what happened. Now, I really liked it how, like I said, when they started exploring the dungeon, it feels like everybody else was taking the hard route to explore the dungeon, to go through everything, and Frieren's group was just enjoying life, exploring everywhere, every corner, finding secret rooms, just the chill, the easy one. Everybody else was going through hell. But here we have apparently the thing that is creating the clones is Spiegel, the water mirror demon. Genau says that is inside the dungeon there, talking about Ewig, the sage, from its time, that when the demon was there. I hope they expand a bit more. I'm kind of curious about Spiegel, the sage there. I'm very interested of the history of the world. Would add a lot more world building here. I have a lot of questions about Craft, his history, just so many things about the past before everything. Zeria also, we have a lot of things to discover, but maybe after the exam here. Now, apparently, these clones are in fact perfect. I wasn't expecting them to be this perfect, like maybe they have a specific flaw, which they kind of have here according to Genau. It reads the memory, so it kind of copies your experience in a way, creates your magic, your strength, and your mana levels, and your techniques. But the one flaw they have, we find it out later in the episode, they don't have an actual mind, so they're kind of like machines, a copy of your state when the clones were created. So improvising, I don't know if they're gonna be able to do that, but the flaw is the mind thing. We're gonna come back to that now. I really liked how Denken when he saw the boss music, also all of the memes with the Dark Souls, everything there, they had to run from it. Like, how do you even defeat Frieren at that point? But before we get to the boss, we kind of have to clear every ad, the trash mobs, so to say, around, all of the other clones. Now, the first fight we had, I liked Ubel and Land. Their interactions are so great, mainly because of how Ubel is, and Land seems very disinterested, but apparently Land got attacked by the Ubel clone, and it stole his golem. Sort of, we're gonna get to that, but I liked how she started asking him, talking a lot. Even he made a comment there, you don't talk a lot, it's like if you stop talking you're going to die. And he started losing a lot of blood, he was dying there, and she asked a very good, and even before that you can kind of tell, are you the real one, the real Land? Now, she's kind of crazy, like very crazy, and if you say I can fix her, you're lost. I don't know what to tell you. Just, I need somebody to comment down below, I can fix her. I know there's a lot of you there that are in for Ubel, but tell me, how would you fix her? She went in, she kind of has a death wish here. She's a bit pragmatic by the way she was talking. The way her technique is right now with the binding, she needs to have a full view of the opponent's body. But since they close distance, both of them did that at the same thing, and the fight came down to luck, which she lost that luck, she gets binded, but then the real Land comes behind, distracts it, and they're able to kill the clone. So the dying Land was in fact a clone, and she's slowly getting closer to sympathizing with him, with how her magic is working. Imagine Ubel clones. I can fix her. I can see you guys right now, I can fix her. But yeah, that was pretty nice one. We had a battle of luck again. The animation went hard there, but having to fight yourself is a very interesting thing, especially how the way it worked out here. But after this, we get back to the main group with Frieren. She's a loot goblin, like 100% she's a loot goblin. She goes around, discovers this secret room, maybe there's a grim murder, the smirk, the grin, she has the happiness, such an awesome character. Frieren. They go inside and they discover this mural with the king, stories of his achievement. They're in very good condition, great discovery. Even Sensei commented on it, but unfortunately no grimoire. And this is where Fern decided to say, hey, things are going too smoothly, too well. Yeah, nice foreshadowing there. And they run into Denken's group at the big door there, and Frieren got excited. Hey, this is how a dungeon should be. Interesting, something challenging there, seeing the clone here. But this is where they have to solve the problem of the raid boss. How do you defeat a stronger mage? Now, I really like the small sections we get sometimes in the episode, like expanding a bit more about the magic, the power systems, the rules, how they interact with each other. And here, there are two ways of defeating a stronger mage. Restraining magic or hypnosis magic. But Frieren is resistant to both. Of course she is, why wouldn't she be? Then we have the hot girl that was with Denken's group, Method, I kinda like her name. She can do both of those types of magic, test them on Frieren, hugging her, trying to restrain her, doesn't work. I really liked how Fern just pulls her back after that, a bit jealous, pouting in the back. No, she's mine, you can have her, holds her in the back. And tries hypnosis magic, doesn't work. But here they say there's this other magician, Edel, she's an expert in mental magic. Maybe she could do it. But here is where we see the flaw that the clones have. They pose the question before getting an answer. Do the clones actually have a mind? Because hypnosis magic only works against something that has a mind. I really like the rules set here. Very simple, but also very complex at the same time. There, and we see Edel's group being pinned down by Zenze's clone, which apparently she has hair magic, like strengthening, manipulating her hair quite a lot. Probably even better than Sensei in a way. I'm curious. We haven't really seen Sensei fight, but even more rules and power system here. I liked it quite a lot, and kind of tells you how you can technology, industry, magic, whatever. You can drive yourself in a corner in a way depending on the situation. I think that modern magic is not good in dungeons. It's too focused on defensive magic, and offensive spells are too reliant on natural elements. Like, they kind of focused way too much of manipulating other elements. Is more efficient for your mana instead of creating something from scratch, from zero, which requires more mana. But also, when you get in a situation where you don't have your element, we saw it also with Kane's water magic, or somebody else here, they don't have their element, you can't really fight at your full power if you just specialized way too much into that. And even becomes a bigger problem if society is kind of that way. With a lot of things, you can drive yourself in a corner, and I really like those segments quite a lot. Gives you a lot of food for thought here. But this is the problem. The Sensei clone can attack them from multiple directions, a lot is stronger than them, but they have to figure out if the hypnosis magic works. And she says, I can maybe issue out small orders, there's no way I can overpower it to give it bigger orders, maybe make it kneel, distracted for a bit. But before they can figure out what to do, the clone attacks them. They tried saying people either smash defensive magic with overpowering force with mass, or sleep in through techniques, and the clone kind of does both, attacking at multiple angles and overpowering force. So they're about to die, but she makes eye contact, and I was like, is it actually gonna work? I was thinking more, maybe it's gonna work. I'm not sure about the clones, and also I don't know if it's gonna work. I was like going back and forth, is it gonna work? And then it's confirmed it doesn't actually work because the clones don't have a mind, and Edel gets stabbed through the chest by Sensei clone. She doesn't die, thankfully. She uses the golem. I really like those golems. They're giga chat bros, just jumping in, doing what needs to be done, getting out the person that needs to be saved. No questions, nothing. I love them. Those golems are so cool. Everybody needs to have a pocket golem, honestly. But yeah, she has to retire, so they don't have the hypnosis magic option either there. I have a feeling those two that escaped from Adult's group are probably gonna let them know, hey, the clones don't have mind. Maybe if they reach down there with Frieren and Denken having to plan. And I like that Frieren says, hey, we should plan around the worst case scenario, like hypnosis magic doesn't work, they don't have a mind, we should focus on brute force. And they start planning a bit. We also see that on the other side, I really liked, like I said, Rebel is one of my favorite new characters. His team versus the clone team. I like how he said Ehre has more mana capacity, but he has the battle experience. And this is very important because even Frieren said it a few episodes ago, not always the stronger one wins. Experience, techniques, situations, element of surprise, those play major factor. It's not just a balance, hey, more power is always gonna grant you a win. And we saw it, complacency with Aura, how she had that Libra there and the scales, and she lost because she assumed she's always the strongest one. And here, but Rebel and the others do well against their clones, and probably my favorite scene in the episode was the last scene. They're planning their Frieren, Denken and everybody else. Let's go with brute force. Overwhelm it. Can you guys actually do this? And Frieren just like casually, well, if that's the case, I can probably kill Frieren. Referring to the clone, of course. But yeah, that could be true. Maybe overwhelm it with casting speed, because even if you guys remember, Frieren says that Fern casts spell faster than her, so she could probably overwhelm her that way. Again, it's not a power versus power, because yes, Frieren is stronger than Fern if you go by that criteria. But it's gonna be interesting. I guess we finally have the Fern versus Frieren fight. I know a lot of people have been waiting for this. I can't wait for next week. Come on, give me the next episode. It has been so fun. It's more of a build-up episode for next week. Preparations to face the raid boss that is Frieren. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought about the episode. As always, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, helps me quite a lot, and you guys get the latest videos on the series that I follow. So make sure to check out the podcast, because anime links in the description. We have episodes weekly. I'm gonna see you again on the next one. Bye bye.